Okay, you guys. So, listeners, friends of the pod have DM'd me this past year. Have we wrote a prompt the other day. Have written in with some questions. For fairness purposes, I'll start with a couple that I've gotten the past year, and then we'll hop into the ones that you guys wrote last night. Again, thank you guys for writing in. There's a lot, and we'll get to as many as we can. Let's do this number one. This was asked a lot, and we'll keep these anonymous because there's some spicy ones. Do you have to do the close contact rolling around with other people if you join Ju-Jitsu? If so, can you pick and choose who you do it with?
So yes and yes.
Okay.
It's a grappling sport. There's no way you can do. There's no way to do jiu-jitsu without touching other people.
Okay.
Because the sport is attacking joints and strangling. That's the whole sport.
Joints.
So you need other people's joints to do that. Yeah. But yes, of course, everybody has bodily autonomy. So you can choose not to roll with anybody for whatever reason. If it's just because you're scared, as a coach, I'll probably push you to roll with people. But if it's like, here's some circumstances.
Their BO is very bad and I
that's fair,
can't do
but
it.
in that situation, I'd pull them off and be like, hey, we got to address this.
Okay. What if they can't?
I have to.
Okay, so
it's
this
my
is a good
job.
follow-up. Like, you
Yes.
tell people when they smell.
Yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable sometimes, but it's more uncomfortable to have your face stuck in somebody's armpit.
That's where the pink eye comes from.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah. But like there are circumstances that for religious purposes, people can't roll with the opposite sex. Or there are circumstances where somebody's like, hey, my partner doesn't want me rolling with somebody from the opposite sex.
That would be me.
If that is a boundary that you've set in your life, that's fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody has bodily autonomy, not just people that I feel like I need to protect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the answer is yes, you guys. Yes. But you do have to come in close contact.
Yeah.
But if you have a coach like Dawna or like the coaches at my gym, 10th Planet Burbank, they're very respectful.
Yeah. And here's the thing. If you're doing it for self-defense, and there's a lot of other reasons that women do jiu-jitsu, and some men only do it for self-defense. So just to say that. But if you are there for the sake of self-defense, I would highly encourage you to build yourself up to the point where you are willing to roll with men, or else you're never going to feel it realistically.
Right. I'm going to ask two more that people wrote into me. And the third one, I will trigger warning now, is a question, and I'll just trigger warning SA, which is sexual assault.
I'm aware of that.
This next one, I'm a 46-year-old woman. Am I too old to start jiu-jitsu now? No. Why, though?
Because jiu-jitsu is adaptable for everybody.
Okay.
How many stretches do you got to do before you
A
start?
lot. I mean, at 46, you have to stretch a lot more than everybody else, and you have to maybe pace yourself a little bit more, but absolutely, it's available to everybody.
Okay.
There's no age
I
that's
had
too high to learn self-defense, right?
In jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
See? All right.
I would say
Do you teach them different than you would teach like a 25-year-old? Or is it all the same?
I think it's all, there's just going to be different levels of gas pedal. You know what I mean?
But all
I'm
the
gonna
same
teach
moves.
Yeah.
Obviously. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably wouldn't teach somebody in their late 50s who's never done anything athletic I probably wouldn't start them off with heavy wrestling.
Right.
Okay.
Which
But,
is,
I would definitely teach them defense. But then, I don't know, sometimes we'll have like ex-athletes who are on the older end of things and they'll come in and we'll be like, let's go. Like, this is an individual sport. You definitely need other people's bodies to do it. But everything in jiu-jitsu is individual. So there are people who train that they don't have use of their legs. There are people who train who only have like one limb or something like that. So it's adaptable to everybody.
Hell yeah. Okay.
okay.
I'm dainty, but I'm very interested in this.
Everybody should be interested.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling there's going to be ACLs gone.
Yeah, it happens.
Who is the oldest person you've trained?
I believe that I've had men in my class in their 60s, and I want to say, I don't generally ask people their ages, but I've had women probably, also in their 60s in my self-defense classes. Yeah.
What is a good age to start teaching kids?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a great question. Well, the answer to every question in the world is it depends.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 4-year-olds that come to our class. I do think that it's a little bit of a struggle. We have to make things age appropriate for them. But I think kids, as long as they have the ability to listen, pay attention,
I was
and
going to
can follow
say the
instructions.
attention span.
My sweet spot age, and if I got to be the boss of everything, I would have kids do gymnastics and only wrestling up until 7.
Okay.
I would start kids in gymnastics around 3-ish. I'm not a gymnastics expert. I don't know. Ask one of them. But I would start kids in gymnastics around 3 or 4. I would have them do that and then start wrestling around 5 or 6, and then have them start Ju-Jitsu at 7.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't argue it.
I will say, before I get into this next question, really quick, because I want to know if you agree. A lot of women asking me, they were like, it seems overwhelming. There's so many terms that, like this woman who's 46, I am someone who deals with anxiety.
Yeah.
So for me, seeing a class, a jujitsu class, and being like, I don't know the terms, I don't know this, for my brain, I thought, before I even start class, I'm going to, and a lot of gyms offer this, most gyms, I'm going to take a few privates.
Yeah.
So I contacted 10th Planet Burbank. I said, I'm not comfortable jumping right into class. What is the price of, like, I would like to take a few private lessons before I jump into class. And it was great because I had Coach Josh Kubera, who's great. And he said, what are you looking to sort of do before class? And I said, honestly, like, you guys are doing these warm-ups. I just want to know how to warm up and terms. And he's like, great, we're going to go over that. I did, I think, 3 privates with him. And then in each gym has different pricing. And then when I jumped into class, I at least knew, like, the terms he was using. I knew. So what do you think? Do you think, like, do you suggest that to most people if they feel that way?
Yes, I think it's a great idea to do that, and approaching it the same way that you did. Like, give me terms just so I understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But also, a good fundamentals class should cover that if you stick around. You know what I mean? Because we should be only covering the same 4 to 5 things over and over and over and over and over again. So if, let's say, you want to join jiu-jitsu, but that's where your budget is and you can't afford the extra lessons, focus on the fundamentals class and it will come. Also, remember, this is learning a language with your body. It takes 10 years to get a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Nobody expects you to know shit for your first year. So that's the coaches know that. The people who you are training with know that. It's a very long-term project.
Yeah, but it's really fun and it's frustrating. And anyway, I can go on, and it's a blast. I can go on and on. This next question is the one I did the trigger warning for. Okay, so I'm a survivor of sexual assault, and I really want to take jiu-jitsu classes to get over my fear, responses, and trauma and learn self-defense. But I also don't want to just get thrown into a class environment where others don't understand that. I will be triggered at first. What are my options?
Private lessons first.
Private lessons are a good way to go. If there's the luxury of a woman's class, that's a really good place to start. Also, tell people. You take away power when you tell your story. So if you're like, hey, I'm super nervous because all you have to say is I'm a survivor of something. I get triggered easily. I'm working my way through it. How I work with women in my classes are we do like the 2-second rule. So if you start to get triggered, stay 2 seconds longer than you want to. Then you can tap, get up, go wash your face, get some air, take a drink of water, walk it off. Come back. The next time, I want you to stay 4 seconds longer than you want to. Tap, get up, go out, walk away. Same thing. And pretty soon, after those 4 seconds, 6 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds, we work our way up to minutes. And then the next thing you know, you are sparring against guys for 5 to 8 minute rounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type of person, I get anxiety and I rather lay it out like all out so everybody can just see who I am. And I think judgment is gone.
And I would say that that's a
Mm-hmm.
huge thing when women are like, hey, what should I look for in gyms? Like, should it be a certain level of competition or whatever? And the first thing I always tell people to look for is how comfortable are you with the coaches and how comfortable are you with the people in the room? That's the most important thing. Gi, no gi, whatever, what team it is. Make sure you are comfortable with the people surrounding you. And if you can't look at the person next to you and be like, hey, I might have an anxiety attack. If I tap, I need you to get off of me. If I cry, there's also been moments I personally have been like, if I start crying, keep going.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never cried in jiu-jitsu.
I've cried.
I would be like,
so
I
many
just
times.
can't.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah. So,
It's
but
hard,
but
girl.
also,
I'd be like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah, I wouldn't do it to a white belt. Like, I wouldn't do it to another new person.
Oh,
but
but a
like,
black
if you
belt?
have a person or a purple belt, brown belt, like somebody that you trust, somebody that you've been training with, if you're like, hey, working through some things, this is what's coming up for me, and then whatever your thing is, like, I might start crying. Keep going. If I start crying, can you please just not make a big deal about it? I'm gonna get up and leave.
Oh, I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Communication, baby. Communication in jiu-jitsu, in life. Okay, thank you for that. I love that.
Thank you a
Okay,
lot.
we're getting into the more recent questions.
The spicy questions.
The spicy. Oh, goodness, you guys. Well, you know what? I got a few of these, so this isn't too spicy. This will be a quick answer. Can overweight people do it? I'm
Yes.
chubby, but I want to try.
Girl,
It is a
homie,
girl.
whatever. Get in
Yeah.
there. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Jiu-Jitsu is the most body positive sport I've ever been a part of. Like, we never go, you can't do that at your size. The question is, all right, what weight are you? What weight do you want to compete at? Let's go.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have to compete, correct?
You
There
do
are
not have to
hobbyists.
compete, but this is what I'm saying. Like, you absolutely can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
What do they call it? Rolling?
Yeah,
rolling.
that's sparring. Yeah, rolling is sparring.
Sparring.
If we're talking about weight, usually it's like, what do you walk at? Meaning, what do you walk around at? And what can you cut to? Those are really the only conversations about weight we're having until you get to the pro level. Then it's where are you going to perform the best. But if it's just somebody coming to me, all right, what do you walk at? Cool. Are you comfortable competing there? Which I suggest wherever you walk at is what you do in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, let's go.
Love it. Okay. Are people in your gym allowed to date each other?
No.
Well, adults can do whatever the hell they want.
Right.
I would say that I'm not allowed to date anybody.
Dawna is a coach at 10th Planet South Bay.
I would say
Is it
none
illegal
of our coaches,
or is it just,
it's frowned upon heavily.
It's just frowned upon.
What is, though?
Yeah.
Coaches dating students?
Oh, yeah. Like, okay, every school is going to have their own rules set by the owner. It is pretty explicit among our coaches that we do not condone them dating students.
Okay.
Can coaches date coaches?
Probably, but I don't think any of our coaches will date each other.
Like-
I'm the only girl.
Like
so
we-
that's not true. I mean, hey, look,
Maybe
I
not.
honestly don't know what's going on in their personal lives, and it's none of my business.
There you go.
But I would say that they're like the stereotype of the coach dating their white belt is laughable because it's real.
Really?
You know what I mean? It's frowned upon, of course. But that being said, I know so many couples that met in jiu-jitsu. So my attitude towards it is if it's two students that are dating each other, like be an adult, be prepared if there's a breakup, like how are you going to handle this?
Find another gym.
If one of my coaches dated a student, that'd be a different conversation.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Did I get all three? I'm getting really good at that.